everybody, and welcome to another handpan lesson. If you've been bearing with us this long, well done. I think it's worth mentioning that there's a lot of things going on and a lot of things being covered in each of these lessons, and you're not expected to be able to do everything in one sitting. In fact, that's why we make the practice material, so that you can actually practice these individually. I think if someone really wanted to blitz through all of these and learn it in one go, the quickest time would probably be at least 1 week, and that's practicing every day for a couple of hours. But don't feel pressured, do it at your own rate. Us teachers, as handpan players, we've all been playing for years, so these are skills we've learned and developed over the years. So the point is really to just learn the basics and integrate them into your playing casually, and that's the best way to learn. But obviously don't fall into bad habits, okay? So what we're covering in this lesson, we're covering percussive slaps and some of the more percussive sounds you can do on the handpan, other than, of course, the notes and the harmonics and the pitch bends we covered in the previous lesson. And we're going to show you also how you will draw these. So why are we doing notation? Well, it's so that we mention this in most lessons. We're doing notation so that you can find our practice material and learn without us having to make a video for everything you want to learn. Likewise, there is going to be a revelation of people making sheet music for the handpan. It may not be for my devised simplified handpan notation version, but it will be similar. It will be pitch based, and the only difference there will be that the ding note, which we know is in the middle, will be placed down into one of the where it should be in relation to the pitch of the other notes. The other thing which will change is each note, specific to each handpan, depending on the scale, will be placed differently on the staves. In fact, this is a D, okay? And that D will be here. This note is actually a D. But obviously in our case, that note here is our second note, okay? So, and that's because we're doing it visually. And check out the first video, you already know that's the ding. We'll just do this again quickly. You already know that middle note's the ding. That's your second note, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, okay? So again, simplified handpan notation, AKA also known as stay at home, all right? Since we're all staying at home right now, this is going to be particularly effective for you. Particularly effective? Why am I saying that? Well, because it stands for simplified handpan notation. You're at home anyway, and there you go. I think you get it. So that's what we're doing. Simplified handpan notation. It's a visual aid for learning the handpan using sheet music. Now, remember that we left a space here. Do you see this space? Every other space on the arrangement here has a note. However, I left this open, and you'll remember in lesson 1, I said that was because I wanted to use the full length of the staves in order to cover the notes. So great, but we missed a note. But you know what? This is actually going to be useful, because now we can put what we call a percussive slap in this space. A percussive slap is one of these. Okay? You've seen people do it. People do it, and they do it to get that percussive slap. The slappier the sound, the more effective it is, because with the handpan we're full of melody and not so much actual percussive sounds. So that's pretty, that's quite cool to have that little slap in there. You can slap here on the inside. I'll call this the outer shoulder ring, because this is the inner shoulder. This is the outer shoulder, and then you've got the rim, the actual rim shots, you could call them. Okay, now how are we going to denote these? Okay, well, what drummers normally do is they put, they use all sorts of symbols actually. I play drums. And an X is a popular symbol. So what we're going to do is, because it's particularly percussive, is we're going to put an X in this space here, the second space, Okay, so whenever you see an X now, it's going to imply a percussive slap on the outer shoulder, okay, of the handpan. So it doesn't specify where exactly to do that slap. So for example, you might see that cross, and it might mean it's up to you. You might do the slap there, you might do the slap there or there. Now it's really up to you. In fact, I'd recommend that you slap where it fits best in accordance with the music you're playing. So if you're playing a lot of things on the left, like here, it's probably easier to put your slap there on the left hand side of the handpan. However, there's nothing stopping you if you really like the slap over there as well. Especially when you get very dexterous and you know your fingers can move all over the place at lightning speed, you can put it anywhere. So this, again, I'll emphasize, the slap, someone's being called. Okay, anyway, the slap here does not indicate where exactly it should be on the upper outer ring, outer shoulder section of the handpan. However, if I was to then put a circle around this, which again, drummers do this to indicate a variation of that particular effect. If I put a circle around this slap, as you probably guessed, it's going to mean you want to be doing the slap around the actual rim shots of the handpan. Now, I don't actually use the rim shots percussive slaps a lot, so I'm going to have to go out my way to create some material for that, which I think is going to be exciting. But you'll see a lot of other virtuosic handpan players using all sorts of all areas of the handpan. They're even hitting the rims. If you've got bottom notes, they use bottom notes and the goo hole in itself. But I mean, getting under there while playing on the top is very difficult. So that's as much as I'm going to cover in this lesson. Percussive slaps around the outer shoulder ring and percussive slaps around the actual rim shots, we'll call them. Okay, so let's create a piece. Create a little melody here. So, doom, cha, and then 9, 8, and repeat. 4/4, remember? I'll leave the handpan there for reference. I mean, I don't normally keep drawing the handpan, but it is a new note, so I'll stick it there. And I will tell you that this is percussive slap. Let's just call it inner, okay? We don't have to say it's the outer shoulder tone every time. That probably makes it confusing when you compare it to the rim shot. Rim shot, slap. I mean, you don't have to call it slap as well, we'll just call it a rim shot. And that's outer, okay, just to help you remember that is on the outside, okay? So what we've got here is, we're not using any rim shots, they're just going to be the inner percussive slaps, okay? So, ding, right, middle note, percussive slap, 9, 8, 9, 8, 6. Right. Now this is interesting because what's going on here is there's two parts, okay? We've got the ding and we've got the percussive slap, right? But then we've also got these 3 notes, okay? And those just happen to be these 3 top notes on the top right of the handpan. So if I was to look at this and say, for example, if there wasn't any indication of right, left hand positions, which I hadn't worked out when I first written this down, and I never do, I would have started with my left hand. I would have started with my right hand, sorry, as I did. But then I've got to get up there and play those like this. And that's a little discomforting, you know, because you've just done a slap and you've got to get that left hand up to play a melody. We don't really want to combine directly consecutive slaps and melodic notes with the same hand in one sitting, in one session, in one go, sorry. So what we're going to do is, what I would do is I'd look at that, I'd go ding on the left hand, I'd slap with my right hand, then up there I'd bring my left hand because it just had a break. And now what I would do is, because my right hand is stronger at doing 2 consecutive notes, I would do the last 2, 8 and 6 with my right hand. So it would be something like this. Do I get a different sound up here? A little slappier up there. What about down here? Oh, that was a little darker, of course, because I've got more lower notes, the resonances coming in there. And that's how I would do that. So what is that? Left, right, right. It is important that you get your hand positions correct, because you don't want to be mixing and matching. I mean, if I did go, what is it? You could do that. Your left hand wasn't doing anything for 3 notes, but you could still go left, right, right. You go left, right. Some people might be trying to do that. I wouldn't advise that because it's a crossover. Okay, it's not ideal, because what if all of a sudden you've got to get here, or that note, that left hand has to go over here, and you're under your hands. So it's starting to get a little bit of a pain, crossing over. So I would do left, right. Okay. Now, what if we turn this into a rim shot? Okay, it's got a circle around it now. For anyone interested, this particular symbol placed up there, just above the 9th note, what would be, I suppose, the 10th note, symbolises a crash symbol in the drums. Not relevant to the handpan, but if you're interested, it's there. So, rim shot would be, I'm going to choose over here because it's on the right hand. And I quite like that rim shot. I like it not because of it's closer to the notes I then have to play, so it's easier to play. But I like it because it feels like a thicker slap. Of course, the metal is slightly thicker down there, but it's definitely a fatter. That would be the explanation, the description of that sound. It's a fatter percussive slap, and we like that. I like that. So if you're creating your own music, experiment with inner slaps here and outer slaps here, also known as inside percussive slaps and rim shots. And notice that every rim shot has a different different harmonic to it, because you're not playing the notes of the only thing which is making melodies are the notes of the handpan. And if you slap between 2 handpans, you're not going to play their notes, you're going to play their harmonics. So that's why there's some various and beautiful different harmonics you're getting from every rim shot. And likewise, the inner percussive slaps as well. So there you have it. Check out the practice material. You may well just find a really interesting exercise which you could copy over, implement into your own kind of music, and get writing a song, because people underestimate it, but writing songs on the handpan are really some of the easiest things you can do. Even doing some semiquavers there, So there's lots of different things you can do. So there you have it. That was percussive slaps on the handpan, and we'll see you at the next lesson. Hi guys, this is just a continuation in case we did actually just not have any of that overhead footage. All inner slaps of the handpan were as referred to as inner percussive slaps, or the inner shoulder slaps are here, okay? And I specified that you do not have to be locked down to any particular position, but you will have to choose based on what you like. So the inner slaps are here, and the outer rim shots, we call them, were out here. And the best harmonics you get are from hitting between the notes, as opposed to those really small bits between. So how you do that is up to you. Sorry about that if we missed that overhead footage.